Good morning, afternoon, everyone. Kaito here. Welcome back to part four or five of the Why I Love series, featuring Seirei Gensouki, Spirit Chronicles. Now, you might notice something that's on this table that you didn't see in the last video, and that is volume or omnibus volume 5, Cinco, which is the newest omnibus that came out a few days ago. Now, yeah, that's pretty much it. This is Satsuki. And hold on, let me move this out of the way. This is Satsuki. So that's the first rendition of Satsuki that you see. And as you see here, she is beautiful. What is her hair color? When I saw this, I was thinking to myself, is this maroon, purple, red? Not red. It kind of looks like purple, but red. So I kind of that's why I say maroon. I don't know what her hair color is, but I love it. There's just what was I gonna say? Miharu. So yeah, and here is there they are flying, but here they are training. I'm probably gonna skip over that part. Here is Miharu, Satsuki, Aki, Masato, and Takatrash. But that's not what I want. The part I wanted to show you guys, I just skipped over. These. I don't know who those two are off the top of my head. One of them might be Charlotte. Not Charlotte. What was her name? Christina. One of them might be Christina. I know it's not her. That might be Christina, though. But that's Charlotte. That's Luis. That's Miharu. And that's Satsuki. Okay, so anyways. So Satsuki, where I left off yesterday. And before I start that, I do want to mention again, spoilers. Because, of course. And again, I'm gonna miss a part. I'm gonna miss parts when I'm doing my review or whatever this is that I'm doing. I'm gonna skip some parts, not because I don't remember them, but because I'm just giving you a guideline of what's going on. So, like, if you saw the last video, the last part, there was one part that I did leave out that I addressed later. And I am bad at this, but the part that I left out was the Flora kidnapping. And after I finished recording, I started thinking maybe I should have mentioned it. Again, it's not that I forgot, it's just that at the time I just didn't think about it. And I should have mentioned it. The reason why I should have mentioned it is because Ryu met his mother's killer, and I can't remember his name. But so that's why I should have mentioned it. Like, after recording, I'm like, man, I should have mentioned that because that's actually when Rio meets him again. So that's on my bad. And again, I didn't get that on video. So me thinking that. But yes, that's one part I missed. Is that Ryu, at this point in time, has met his mother's killer again. Again, he knows who it is. And he's looking for him. And he found him, but he couldn't kill him because he had to save Flora. But with that said and done, I guess let's continue. We left off the last recording with Haruto rescuing Miharu. She knows now that, they know that he is the same Haruto that, died and everything. But I left that. I'm not going to recap that because I said it in the last video. So, but that's where we're starting off. It's where Haruto saved Miharu. So after Haruto knocked out Takatrash, they landed ship back, and Takatrash had to be punished because, well, he kidnapped somebody. And not just that, but he kidnapped someone important. And yeah, so Haruto wasn't happy. Charlotte wasn't happy. And when I say Charlotte, I mean like Francisco. King Francisco wasn't happy because Satsuki wasn't happy. And Masato wasn't happy. Like, pretty much everyone wasn't happy. Even Takatrash's princess, the kingdom that he is assigned to, and I'm using assigned loosely. The kingdom he's assigned to, their princess wasn't happy about this. So basically, no one was happy with Takatrash's actions, except for probably Aki. So they received their punishment. I don't know the exact punishment, like the exact date. Like, like if you say you're spending 8 years in jail, let's say. So I don't know the exact punishment, but I know he was basically grounded and so was Aki, because she had a part in it. She was gonna go with Takatrash, and they were gonna be grounded in the castle for an extended period of time. Again, I don't remember how much. And especially for Aki, she would not be able to contact Miharu or Ryu or anybody, I think. So she was kind of devastated about that. And Masato, being the man he is, the bro he is, he decided to go with Aki and Takatrash, even though last time he said he wanted to go with Harito to keep up with his training. But he said, hey, look, if I don't go, they're not going to be kept in check. So I'm going to go keep them in check. And he's like, again, he's young, but he's mature. So that's basically what happens, is that Aki has like a nervous breakdown. She's losing Miharu because Miharu's still going to stay with Haruto. And she can't contact her. I mean, I think they could. Maybe they still can, and I'm just not remembering. They can't see her. That I do know. And just some other stuff. They're grounded. And at this point, this is kind of where my memory starts getting fuzzy for some reason. But can you see the light flickering? And it's driving me crazy. Like, you can probably see it here, but it's like annoying me. That's why I was debating on recording this or not, because of that light flickering, and I don't know how bad it is going to be on video. Tell me if it is super bad, or if it's not, hopefully you're just listening to it, because I'm not doing anything. The books are just standing here while I'm giving my review. But let me know if that light, if you're watching this and that light is bothering you, let me know. If it's not, and you're just listening to it, just let me know. But anyways, so sorry I got sidetracked. So this is kind of where my memory gets fuzzy, because I don't remember exactly what happens, but Haruto is having a conversation with Miharu and the spirit folk village girls, Alma, Sarah, and why can't I remember her name? Orphelia? Is that it? I think it is. I believe it's Orphelia. Okay. I hope I'm right. I'm not wrong. I know it's OPH. I know it's OPH. Ophelia? Ophelia? I don't know. Anyways, the elf girl. I know they're in this conversation, but I don't remember if they were already at the rock house or if they went back to the spirit folk village, picked them up, and then I don't like. This is where my memory's fuzzy, and that's why, because I haven't read it in a while. But again, the party and all that's done with, and Haruto's talking about going on an adventure to go find his mother's killer and kill him. And the girl said they'll wait for him to come back and everything. And Miharu, she said she'll wait for him to, and all this other stuff. All this good feeling stuff. So Haruto leaves and goes to this other kingdom. Again, I'm not good with the kingdom names. To go find information about the whereabouts of this guy, his mother's killer. He goes, has a competition with the king. And it's like, if you could, I think it was, if you could survive one strike from the king, or if you could land a strike on the king, you could get one thing you wish for if it's within his power, something like that. And Haruto does it. He gets information. Where's this guy? I wanted to call him something else, but I'll probably be demonetized if I said the B word. And he says, okay, he's at this village. So Haruto goes. And also, no, I don't think it's at this point in time yet. So he goes to this village. Now, while he's going to this village, something happened between this. Christina and Flora were on their way to go back to their kingdom, or to a kingdom somewhere. They were going somewhere. I don't remember where they were going. And they were attacked by Haruto's mother's killer, because he has a mercenary band. And Reese, I think he was the one that ordered this. But it didn't go according to plan because of Haruto's mother's killer. But they kidnapped the princesses, and they were also going to kidnap Professor Celia, and I think they were going to use her as hostage against Rio, against Rio. But something happened. Aisha was with Professor Celia while Haruto was away, and she kind of prevented that attack. But again, it didn't go according to plan. But Princess Christina and Flora were kidnapped again. So when Rio gets here, he finds them. And so this is where this big epic duel happens, where it is Rio protecting Princess Christina and Flora, while also fighting his mother's killer. And I don't know if it's in this chapter, but I honestly don't think. But it's a big epic fight. They're throwing magic. They're throwing magic around, and also credit to Rive, great artist. Sometimes I wish I could contact these artists. Aisha, Alma, Sarah, Orphelia, something like that. Professor Celia, and Latifa. Okay, now I know why Laftalia was kind of sounding weird to me because I was thinking of Raftalia. That's what I was thinking of when that was why I sounded confused. And here is Satsuki. It is Satsuki, right? Yes. I think in this chapter is where, yeah, this is where Haruto punched Taco Trash. Okay, so that's what that was. Okay, anyways, so it's an epic fight. That the magic's being thrown around. They're fighting. Haruto's mother's killer is trying to kill the princess, or trying to like leverage the princess that he's trying to protect them. And there's just this big Haruto does this big magical attack, and he ends up killing. He ends up killing his mother's killer, finally avenging. So Haruto he avenged his mother finally, while protecting the princesses. And I don't know about this, but I'm pretty sure he burned the building to guarantee that he is killed. Well, again, don't quote me on that, but I want to say he did because that's what I would do. That's what I would write. But again, I'm not Yuri, so. And if I was Yuri, a lot of more R-rated things probably would have happened in this novel. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But so yeah, Haruto finally avenges his mother. I think at this point is where Christina finally realizes that Haruto is Rio. Flora has already kind of knew this from their last encounter when Flora was kidnapped. So, so now Christina knows. So they decide Rio has 2 rock houses, by the way, and what rock houses are is basically a house made from rock. It's like a rock house. Think of a giant rock, and you're going to have to be skilled to do this, but you start carving out the rock from the inside. Like you make like a door, right? And then you work your way inside and you build a house inside the rock without damaging the rock outside. And, it has bedrooms, it has a kitchen table, a working kitchen table, living room, I guess bedrooms, a working bathroom, and just all this other stuff. And it's portable because Ryu could hide it in like this pocket dimension thing that he takes around with him. I think it's I don't remember what it is. It might be like a wristband or something. Don't quote me on that. I want to say a ring, but I know Hajime from Arifureta uses the ring for his storage. So I don't want to say it is a ring because I know that's from Arifureta, but I don't know if it's also here. But anyways, so Ryu has 2 rock houses. One's kind of more permanent for the girls, and the other one's more so for him to take when he's going out. And what you want to do is you want to have a flat surface, and you want to have terrain where it doesn't look like a giant rock will stick out of place. So he'll mostly put it somewhere where it's rocky area. So, anyways, so the girls could kind of like get changed because the girls are they were barefoot. They've been taken prisoner. They were prisoner for a few days. So their clothes are ripped. They're hungry. I think Flora was sick at one point. If it wasn't Flora, it was Christina. One of them was sick. And so Ryu was, providing them care because he didn't want to transport them while they were sick. So he took out the rock house and they were just having an R&R. They were in the bath. They took a bath and they're, saying how Rio, like how he could do all this amazing stuff. And Christina was talking about like, how Rio was falsely accused and then all this other stuff, how she didn't defend him back when they were there, she even, again, I don't know if it was in this one or if it happened before, but how she was saying how, she was jealous of Rio and how it wasn't Rio who was the problem, she was, and all this other stuff. And yeah, but then they wanted to know about Rio, like completely. I don't know how they got into this conversation. I can't remember, but Rio told them everything. He told them how he is the prince of. He is technically a prince because his mother was a princess. How his where his mother and father came from. How his father died or was murdered, and then his mother was murdered, and then how he was in the slums and then doing all this other stuff. He basically gave them the whole story. I don't know if he told them everything. I don't think he told them everything because I'm pretty sure he won't tell them about Sayori. Sayori? What? Not who's Sayori? I think I said this in the last one too. Seiyo. Who is Sayori? Now, why do I have that name in my head? But anyways, I don't think he'll tell them about Seiyo and how she confesses love to him. I don't think like that's not important stuff. So yeah, I'm sure he just gave him the important details, and they were crying. And I think it was Christina who was kind of like sorry or not. Well, they're all sorry because again he was falsely accused of a crime he didn't commit. But I think it was Christina who kind of felt bad because they were how they treated a royal. But Rio's like, I'm not a royal, you know. They were excommunicado. My parents, you know, they were expelled, not expelled, exiled. They were exiled, so he lost his royal status and all this other stuff. But they wanted to pay him back, and you know how Rio is already. If you don't, Rio, he's generous. He doesn't. You don't gotta pay me back. I don't care about none of that stuff. But he brings the princesses back, and King Francisco's like, you know, Rio, like, or Harito, you're stacking these credibilities up like constantly, like bam, 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 like after you accomplish or you're like accomplishing stuff like back to back, like every time you have one accomplishment, bam, you top it off with another, bam, you top it off with another, bam, you top it off with another, like, and then just to top it all off, bam, you saved the two princesses who were just kidnapped like a week ago. I don't know how long it's been. So, and there is one hero who I when I got this book, I saw something that will actually help me out remembering some of these names. Okay, so this hero, Sakata Hiroaki, Saku. Well, I'm not gonna remember his name, but that guy, Sakata. He is the hero of the kingdom from Flora's and Christina's Beltram Kingdom. He is the hero from the Beltram Kingdom. And it's Orphelia. He hates Rio for whatever reason, because he's like that hit him. I already forgot his name, and I'm not gonna open the book to remember it. He hates Haruto because Haruto's like, he's not a hero, like a summoned hero like he is, but Rio can do all the stuff that heroes are supposed to do. He's like brave and doing all this stuff, jumping into action, and he kind of like, he feels emasculine, I guess, comparing himself to Rio. But so he hates Rio with a passion. But while Rio was finding his mother and while the princesses were kidnapped, Francisco and some other people from, because again, like there's this like revolution going on in the Beltram Kingdom, and I don't really understand all of that, so I'm not gonna go into it because I don't know exactly. I actually don't know what's going on. I didn't skip it. I just don't understand. I'm just like, well, what's going on? But anyways, so they're trying to tie this faction in. So they thought of having a political marriage against the hero from the Beltram Kingdom, that guy, and someone who has strong ties to the Garlic, something like that kingdom, which is King Francisco's kingdom. And again, that's not his name, but that's just what I call him. So they thought, so you know, they asked him like, is there someone he wants to marry? I don't know if they asked him or they gave him a choice, but he said he loves Lise Lislouette, whatever her name is, the blue hair chick, Lislouette or whatever. Oh, I don't think I actually mentioned this ever. I said I was going to, but I don't think I ever got to. You remember in part 1 where I said how Rio and 3 other people in the bus got killed in the very beginning? You know, that's how Haruto was transported into another world. And I said it was Rio or Haruto. It was Haruto, and there was this elementary school girl, and probably a high schooler. I don't know what grade she was in. Those three people were reincarnated with Rio or with Haruto. Haruto came back as Rio. The kindergarten girl came back as Latifa, and the high school chick, I don't know their names. She came back as Louise Loet. Louise. She came back as her, and that's why the Rika. I think her name was Rika. That's why she named it. She named the guild after her first name, when in her previous life. But that's why like it's like the clothes and all this other stuff is like really well made. She's using her knowledge from when she was in Japan, and all of them know. I don't know at this point. At this point, I don't. No, I think they do know. I think at this point they do know about each other being reincarnations and how they were all on the same bus. Because I think it was mentioned before, but again, I left that part out, and I forgot to mention it actually completely. But yes, so I think the concept of the reincarnates. But anyways, that's not the point of this. So that hero, the Belgium Kingdom hero, he was gonna be politically married to Louise, but they had to have like a marriage thing, and they both had to agree to it. And so the Belgium hero, he's like, oh, high and mighty. He's like, oh, of course you'll love me. I'm a hero, right? Like that's the kind of attitude. I hate him. I really do hate him just because of that attitude. Like he's like, he treats himself like a king walking around peasants. Like he's always like, oh, I'm better than everybody. Rio, whatever. He's probably just, I'm like, dude, stop it. You're not that important. You're not that good. Like to this point, I don't even think you actually ever fought. Like I think he had a match against Rio or Satsuki, or maybe both, and I think he lost both of them. Well, if he did fight Rio, he did lose. Because Rio hasn't lost. But, yeah. So, they had, like, a little, marriage thing, and everyone's talking about, like, it's a done deal. Like, the maids and everyone else in the kingdom that heard about this marriage, they think it's a done deal. And even Louise says, like, Lise, I don't know why I say Louise, there's no O-E. There's no O in her name. Well, besides the Loet in her name, but that's not the point. But even she wants to try to get out of it. She doesn't want to flat out refuse them, but she says she's gonna have to. She's like, looks like I'm gonna have to refuse them, like straight out. But and he thinks it's going all right. They're both by themselves having a conversation. Like, hey, all this other stuff. He's trying like, yeah, because I think he's already politically gonna be engaged to this chick who's kind of serving as his server. I don't remember her name, but she's one of Christina's friends. So he's already gonna be married to her, and I think someone else. So Lise would have been his second or third wife, and he tries to make it, oh, you won't be numbered, because I don't want to have my wives like. They'll just be numbered, for it's like your first wife, second wife, third wife, and he's like, oh, they're just gonna be numbered for political reasons, but I'm gonna treat you all the same, like no one's gonna. There's no hierarchy. There's gonna be no hierarchy in the harem. Yeah, and yes, he wants the harem. Like he's like strongly advocate for a harem. Like I think he at one point he tried to hit on Miharu too, but Miharu like shut him down. Don't quote me on that, and if you do, you're wrong. But yeah, so he thinks everything's going good because she's not talking, and he's like, oh, she's not talking because she knows I'm like, she's nervous because I'm so freaking amazing and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, dude, shut up. But luckily she didn't. She said she doesn't want to marry him, and so he gets pissed. Oh yeah, the second person he was gonna marry was Flora. So he was politically married to, or he's not married yet. Like there's no wedding, but his potential fiancés, in quotes, was Flora, the assistant girl, and it was gonna be Lise. So, yeah. So Lise said, "No, I don't want to marry you," and he kind of gets pissed, and he's like, "You know what? Whatever." And when they go back, they think everything went well, and then like, what happened? He's like, "She said no," or like it's off or something like that. And some people were relieved, like I think Francisco was relieved. And some other people were kind of relieved because I think they didn't want Lise to marry him. But Charlotte, I think it was Charlotte and Francisco that were relieved that it didn't go well. And when like after this happened, Haruto comes back with the princesses in tow, and he gets pissed because like here there, the princes have been missing for God knows how long. I want to say a week, and then here comes Haruto. I like again, like if they're missing a week with the princesses, and then he sees how Flora is and Christina are like smiling, they're laughing, they're giggling, and he comments how I don't know if he commented that both of them, but I'm pretty sure if not both of them, I know he commented on Flora. How he's never seen Flora smile like that when she's with him, so he gets irritated, like a mf'er, and so they hold a meeting or a conference or something because this is like a great achievement. So they're talking about giving a prize to Rio and to kind of figure out what's going on. Like, well, what happened? Rio tells them what happened. Everyone's there. Everyone who's everyone. Um, was Professor Celia there? I don't think Professor Celia was there yet. It was Rio. It was the princesses, and it was King Francisco, Princess Charlotte, and some important people from this faction, and the Belgium hero. And and like I said, he was already pissed of the Belgium hero, and he actually accused Rio of being a part of the kidnapping to kind of like raise his merit or something like that. And he's like, "How do we know that you weren't part of this?" And the other people get pissed at him, and then he sees how everyone is defending him, so he's just like, "Yeah, maybe I'm just wrong." But like Rio and the others know how he just like, yeah, he's just saying that he's just putting on a face basically. And he said, I'm not feeling well, so I'll just like take my leave here. So, anyways, that's not that important. I just thought that was a good moment. But so Francisco's thinking about giving another reward to Haruto because this is another achievement. Oh, and Satsuki was there too. Satsuki, she was also one of the people that was glad that Lise didn't get married to him. But so they think about giving another award to Rio, and he's like, "Dude, man, I don't want an award. Man. I didn't even want the last reward, and you made me an honorary knight. Like, what are you gonna give me this time?" And what King Francisco did is he gave him a house, because I think it kind of was let out that Rio had a house in the Belgium Kingdom. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But he did have a house somewhere before. I just don't know where it was located. And I think it's the Belgian Kingdom. So Francisco's like, well, you're an honorary knight from the Garlic. I'm just a Garlic Kingdom. But you don't even have a house here. Like, that's kind of unacceptable. So I'll give you a house. And he said, I'll give you a house inside the the walls of the royal palace. And people are like, what? And Rio, he doesn't really know how all this political stuff goes. So he's like, is that a big deal? And he says, yes, like having a house inside the royal kingdom, like inside the house that surrounds the castle, is like the king basically saying, this person's mine, hands off. Like, that's like an important status, like the top of the top, basically. So if you have a house inside the walls of the castle, like the house is not inside the castle, but like the castle, the wall that surrounds the castle, kind of like as a last defense, that's where the house is, inside that castle. And there's a few reasons why King Francisco gave him this. One is because he knows Miharu's traveling with him. Two, he also knows that Satsuki and Miharu are best friends, and that Rio and Satsuki are also kind of like they're friendly with each other. So this will kind of give like some freedom to Satsuki, like because she can't leave, she can't go far away from the kingdom, the castle itself. So that's why Francisco gave a house to Rio inside the walls, so she could freely travel from her room inside the castle to Haruto's house, like without any like guards or something like that. Like just whenever she felt like it, she could just go visit Haruto, and so that was another perk and all this other stuff. And this isn't mentioned in front of Rio, but King Francisco does kind of want to tie Rio down politically. And he's kind of like thinking about offering Satsuki's hand in marriage to Rio, because Satsuki is the kingdom of the Garlic Kingdom. So he wants to have like a political marriage with like maybe Charlotte and Satsuki, right? But that's not gonna happen because Rio, at this point, Rio doesn't want a harem, because he still has like his ideas from Japan, where he's what's the opposite of polygamy? Monogamy? Is it monogamy? Monogamous? If it is, that's the word I'm using, but it's not, then it's a different word. But so he still like wants to be loyal to one girl. I hope that changes in the future, but for now, that's why he can't really see him having more than one wife. But they talk about the house that Rio's given, and Christina also talks about wanting to give Rio a reward, but they're gonna have to probably think about it because right now there's a lot of stuff going on, so they can't talk about it. But but yeah, so kind of they have definite, and I already hit the 30-minute mark, so I'll finish it off with the scene that I liked, and I'm glad it happened because Flora's not really in this novel that much, and I know there are some people in the community who hate Flora because like her only role so far has been to get freaking kidnapped every time and just need help. And I could kind of understand, like it does get frustrating after a while when you're just there to be kidnapped, but like I'm sure Yuri Sensei is gonna, and I don't know why. I Is it bad to call them Yuri Sensei and not because Kitayama is kind of too long for me, so that's why I just say Yuri. But and I'm gonna call him Sensei because I also want to be a light novel artist. So any light novel authors have not artist author. I said artist. I want to be a light novel artist. No, I want to be a light novel author. So I'm gonna call them senseis or senpais. Probably sensei because they already published something, so they're ahead of me, and I hold them really high. And it is one of my favorite novels too. But Yuri Sensei, um, I hope that changes in the future, but I guess again I don't know. But I'm gonna end it with this. The Belgium hero, Christina and Flora, and a few other people start talking with the hero, with their hero, the Belgium hero, and they're just talking, and I don't know what they're talking about. But basically, what happened at the end of the day is Christina was able to call off the wedding from Flora and him. And I think the reason why he called it off was because he wanted to make this other girl, the girl that's working like as his servant, like she's assigned to him. It's not like a master servant relationship. Like she was assigned to him to like tend to his needs. That's why I call her like a servant or a server or whatever you want to call her. But he said he wanted no. Okay, I think it was Prince. I think it was King Francisco's youngest daughter who he was gonna marry. I think he said that he wanted her as the first wife, and then it was gonna be the servant who was gonna be the second wife, and then it was gonna be Flora, like in that order. And Christina was like, "We can't do that. Like, if it's gonna be like, I think he said Flora has to be either the second wife or the first wife." And he said no, he's already made the decision. And he said, "All right then. Well then the wedding is off, or like the political marriage is off then." And he says, "I don't care," something like along those lines. And when I heard that, I'm like, thank God. And also, Flora was kind of happy to hear that too because, and I think Christina did that on purpose because Christina knows that Flora is in love with Haruto. So I think there was probably a monologue somewhere in her like where she was having with herself, but I don't know if it actually happened before or after, like where chronological it happened. But I think at one point she did say that she was gonna call off this wedding, even if she has to offer herself up as to be the one who's gonna be married to him, because she has the idea already that she's gonna be politically married to a person she doesn't even love. So she's kind of already sold herself onto that role. But she wanted Flora at least to marry someone she loved, which at this point would be Rio. But that's where I'm gonna end it. Rio gets a house. Flora's not politically married anymore, or was gonna politically get married anymore, and all this other stuff that happened. So that's where I'm gonna leave this off. And I'll pick it up here next time. So bye bye, peace, and I love you guys. Please leave a like, sub, and comment.